The polling that I've seen or anybody else has seen is not very good. There was a memo. My friend Jim Messina said, I said, Democrats need to quit bedwetting, but my wife's already changed me to rubber sheets.
Why it's taken so long is anyone's guess, but Democrats are clearly starting to panic over President Biden's low standing in the polls. Currently, his job approval rating sits around 42% or so. But despite White House cheerleading over Bidenomics, voters give Mr. Biden little credit.
Everything's gone up: electricity, groceries, fuel, housing, everything has gone up.
So far, no Democratic Party heavyweights have come forward to challenge Mr. Biden's unpopularity. Why? Because they're confident that Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee. And since Mr. Biden's beaten him once before, they're pretty sure he can win again.
What's at stake is whether we have some right-wing demagogue running this country, or whether we re-elect somebody who is a very decent human being who's trying to do the opposite, trying to bring the American people together.
It's a big gamble, especially if you take a moment to consider Mr. Biden's manifest political liabilities, starting with his age and decline. The press has tried to cover for Mr. Biden, but the public trust their own eyes, and as recently as yesterday, Mr. Biden appeared confused during a press conference.
I'm just following my orders here. Staff, is there anybody haven't spoken to? No, I ain't calling on you. I'm calling on, I said I had 5 questions.
The president will be 82 next year, and aging can accelerate at any time. And that brings us to his next political liability, Vice President Kamala Harris.
Wall Street Journal had a poll showing 2/3 of Democrats say Joe Biden is too old to run again. Are you prepared to be commander-in-chief?
Yes, I am, if necessary.
Mr. Biden chose Kamala Harris as his running mate in 2020 to meet his party's identity politics needs. Unfortunately, Ms. Harris has shown little capacity to be commander-in-chief and is often embarrassing in interviews.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time.
Next problem, Hunter Biden and the family business. House Republicans have already exposed enough details to confirm Hunter Biden's use of the family name, and that includes testimony from his former business partner, Devon Archer.
Well, at the end of the day, he had a career in Washington, graduated Yale Law School, and had a very big network in D.C., and brought that know-how and understanding of D.C. and ultimately the Biden brand.
The press can say there's no evidence that Mr. Biden received a check, but the investigation is ongoing. Arguably, a bigger problem for Democrats is that the Biden family influence peddling will end up neutralizing Mr. Trump's indictments as a liability. After all, Mr. Trump will be relentless in prosecuting all of this politically, much like he did with Hillary Clinton in 2016.
Oh, she's as crooked as they come, folks. Just take a look.
Next up, the economy could certainly prove a political liability. Yes, it has rebounded this year and third quarter growth has been strong, but a slowdown is expected in the months ahead.
The unemployment rate is actually a pretty meaningful indicator. A lot of times that's one of the first places that we see a recession coming on, and so jumping to 3.8 is potentially the start of something concerning.
The migrant crisis. Has there ever been a bigger self-inflicted policy wound than the Biden administration's refusal to deter the migrant flow at the US-Mexican border?
Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this.
Mr. Biden refuses to challenge his progressive base on asylum law, and the damage has spread far and wide.
This issue will destroy New York City.
There are, of course, other potential dangers outside of this list, not least from adversaries abroad. But already there are enough political risks to justify Democratic alarm. Mr. Trump may prove their salvation again, as he has in every election since 2016. But if Democrats stick with the Biden-Harris ticket, don't blame Republicans if history repeats itself.